morning, all of you. I am Assistant Professor Urmi Shah from ICT Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So today we will be moving ahead with the final or the concluding session of our unit of Telecommunication Engineering, that is Electronic Switching System. So today we will be discussing about the general topics in this session. Also we will be discussing about the different advantages, what are the enhanced services offered by the different switching applications or the switching systems of telecommunication engineering. So let's move ahead with the topics that we are going to cover in this session. So basically, these are the topics that I am going to cover in this session. That is enhanced services in SPC, then model of switching system, then design parameters of switching system. So these are the applications or these are the topics that we are going to cover in this session. Basically, the first topic is enhanced services in SPC. So, what are the services offered by Stored Program Control Exchange Mechanism, which we have already studied it, that we will be seeing in this topic. So, the services offered in the sense of Stored Program Control Exchanges are listed over here in the following manner. The first services is services for calling subscriber. In that we have the following services, that is abbreviated dialing, then callback system, then call recording option, then the another kind of service which is for service for called subscriber. It is going to include the following facility like operator answer, then call forwarding, then these are the following services that are offered for calling and for called subscriber by SPC, that is Stored Program Control Exchange Mechanism. So these facilities should be offered to the user who is using this phenomena or using this mechanism, that is Stored Program Control Exchange Mechanism. Further in this category, for more than two parties, the services include the following category, that is calling number identification, then call waiting, then call hold, then conference call. These all facilities we are using right now in our telephonic system, that is calling number identification via Truecaller application. You can identify who is calling and whosoever has called you. Then call waiting option is for those whenever the line is busy, at that time we can have a call waiting. Call hold is nothing but if in between any call initiation or call conversation another important call is coming, then you can keep the current call on hold and then receive the upcoming or incoming next call for some instant of time. That is call hold facility. Conference facility is if you want to connect with more than 2 or 3 persons at a time, then you can have a conference call. So all these facilities we are actually using right now in our day-to-day applications, and these are known to all of you. The other services offered by Stored Program Control Exchange Mechanism is auto alarm. Then pairing of STD calls. Auto alarm is related to if you have certain call time duration limit, then after that time duration call will be cut out. That is auto alarm system. Then pairing of STD calls is related to the calls whenever you are connected inside a country, that is related to pairing of STD calls. So these are the services that are offered by Stored Program Control Exchange mechanism. Moving forward, the another topic that we are going to cover in this session is model of switching system. So basically, a model of switching network with n inlet, that is n number of inputs, and m outlet, that is m number of output, is considered over here in switching system. So basically you will have n number of inputs, and corresponding to n number of inputs you will have m number of outputs. And input and output are the basic unit of any switching system. A major component of a switching system is a set of inputs and set of output circuitry that is known as inlet and outlet. So these are the important features or important part of any switching system. Then switching matrix or network is going to include the switching matrix or network is the hardware part that is used to establish a connection between a given inlet and outlet unit. So these are the important features or important components of any switching system. Then moving forward, what is a symmetric network? Symmetric network is the one where number of inlet is equal to number of outlet in a switching system. That is, if you have a switching system, if there are 4 inputs, correspondingly there should be 4 output only. And that particular network is known as a symmetric network. So this is the example of a symmetric network. The another kind of network here is the folded network. Now what is a folded network? When all the inlet and outlet are connected to a subscriber line, then the logical connection is going to be established between input and output. In this case, the output lines are folded back to the input, and hence the network is known as a folded network. It is a kind of feedback network. If you are having an input, then switching block, then your output. Output is again fed to the input block, then that type of network is known as folded network because you are replicating the output in input block. Now, the another type of network is non-folded network. What is non-folded network? When all the outlet lines are not connected to the subscriber lines, or if all the output lines are not connected to the input lines, then that type of network is known as non-folded network. So these all networks are very easy to understand, and I hope this is easily understandable to all of you. Moving ahead, let's understand what are folded networks and what type of connection it can establish. So basically, folded network could establish 4 types of connection. Now what are these 4 types of connection? Let's understand them using the following points. So basically, first point is a local call connection between 2 subscribers in the system. So this is the first type of connection. It is falling under the category of folded network. Second kind of connection includes an outgoing call connection between a subscriber and outgoing trunk. So this is the second type of folded network connection. The third type is incoming call connection between an incoming trunk and a local subscriber. Then the fourth one is transit call connection between incoming trunk and outgoing trunk. So these are the 4 different types of connection that can be established by a folded network. The first one is a local call connection between 2 subscribers in a switching system. The second one is an outgoing call connection between a subscriber and the outgoing trunk. The third type of connection is incoming call between an incoming trunk and a local subscriber. Then the fourth type is transit call connection between incoming trunk and outgoing trunk. So this way the four different types of connection can be established between the folded kind of network. Moving to the next topic, that is non-blocking switching network. Now what is a non-blocking switching network? In a folded network with n subscriber, there can be a maximum of n by 2 simultaneous calls or information interchanges. So at a time, in a folded network, if there are n subscribers, maximum limit of simultaneous call can be the half of the total number of subscribers, that is n by 2. Then the switching network may be designed to provide n by 2 simultaneous switching path. Such type of network is called non-blocking switching network. Then moving forward, for n subscribers designed for n by 2 simultaneous calls, if all the possible conversation takes place simultaneously and when a subscriber requests a connection, there is no switching path for in the network and he is a desired network. So that is known as blocking switching network. If there are n number of subscribers, then total half of that can have a simultaneous calls, and if all the possible conversation takes place simultaneously, then when a subscriber requests a connection, it should be taking conversation at that time only. There should not be any switching path for that specific network if that is a desired connection. So that is the role of blocking of switching network. And then the subscriber is said to be blocked and the switching network is called blocking network. So this is the criteria when the network is called blocked. Another type of topic or the another parameters for this switching network or switching model are listed over here. Number of subscriber lines are n. So total we have n number of subscriber lines. Then total number of switching elements are s over here. Cost of switching system can be estimated using this formula, that is Cc is equal to S into Cs plus Cc plus Cch. Now what is Cs? Cs is nothing but the cost per switching element. Cc is the cost of common control subsystem. Then Cch is nothing but the cost of common hardware. And Sc is the switching capacity of any switching system. So using all these four parameters, you can have the calculation of cost of entire switching system. So these are the design parameters involved for calculating the cost of switching system. Moving ahead, the further design parameters are listed over here, that is traffic handling capacity can be calculated using this formula, that is Tc is equal to 2 into Sc divided by n. N is the number of subscriber, Sc is the switching capacity. Then equipment utilization factor will include the two parameters, that is number of switching elements in operation divided by the total number of switching elements. Sc over here stands for switching element. Number of switching stages can be represented by K. Average switching time per stage can be calculated as TST. Then call setup time can be calculated using this formula, that is Ts is equal to K into TST plus T0. T0 is the initial time, TST is the average switching time per stage, and K is the number of switching stages. So the total cost capacity index can be calculated using this formula, that is CCI is equal to SC divided by C divided by N. SC is the switching capacity, then N is the number of subscribers. So these are the following design parameters for any switching system. Following are the reference books for the topics that we have covered today. In the further sessions, I will be continuing with the next chapter or next unit of this telecommunication engineering subject. Thank you so much for watching this session. In the upcoming session, we will be moving ahead with the further units of telecommunication engineering. Thank you.